It looks like the Russians were behind it. White House unveils new sanctions against Putin focused on his spies and cronies as Trump joins France, Germany and the UK in condemning nerve gas attack. The Trump administration leveled new sanctions Thursday on 5 institutions and 19 individuals tied to Russia's government, citing Moscow's 2016 election interference and the recent nerve gas attack in Salisbury, England among a laundry list of reasons. The sanctions push came as President Donald Trump said it looks like Russia was behind the poisoning of Russian spy Sergei Skripal and his daughter in Britain. It certainly looks like the Russians were behind it, Trump said, following fury in Great Britain over the poisoning using a chemical agent that is manufactured in Russia. Something that should never ever happen, and we are taking it very seriously as I think are many others, Trump said. Theresa May visited the city in the aftermath of the poisoning today, while Vladimir Putin addressed a youth forum called Russia, Land of Opportunity. Significantly, the Kremlin leader made no reference to the mountain of criticism being leveled at him, but capitalized by using it as an opportunity for another show of strength with the Russian elections just days away. Trump, who gained a reputation for avoiding opportunities to speak ill of Russian President Vladimir Putin, spoke about the attack in the Oval Office along with Irish Prime Minister Leo Varadkar. He didn't answer an initial question about the sanctions on Russians generally, but then responded when asked if Putin was behind this. It looks like it, Trump said, noting he spoke with British Prime Minister Theresa May. I spoke with the Prime Minister and we are in deep discussions. A very sad situation, Trump said. Despite the hedge, Trump's statement was stronger than one he made on Tuesday, when he maintained the public possibility that Russia wasn't behind at the poison attack. As soon as we get the facts straight, if we agree with them, we will condemn Russia or whoever it may be, Trump said then. The initial comment by White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders notably did not mention Russia. The use of a highly lethal nerve agent against UK citizens on UK soil is an outrage. The attack was reckless, indiscriminate, and irresponsible, said Sanders said on Tuesday. A senior national security official told reporters about the sanctions, which the Treasury Department rolled out more than a year after the election interference campaign took place. These sanctions target a wide range of Russia's destabilizing activities, including interference in the 2016 U.S. election, said the official. We continue to be very focused on pressuring Russia for its continued efforts to destabilize Ukraine, occupy Crimea, meddle in elections, as well as for its endemic corruption and human rights abuses, and the recent use of a military-grade nerve agent in an attempt to murder 2 United Kingdom citizens further demonstrates the reckless and irresponsible conduct of its government, the official said. The administration also accused Vladimir Putin's government of long-term systemic cyber intrusions into America's electric power grid. The sanctions, accompanied by tough statements from the White House and the Treasury, were indicative of an ongoing chill, despite hopes Trump expressed during the election for better relations between the two powers. Thomas Graham, who served as senior director for Russia on President George W. Bush National Security Council staff, said this month that the relationship between the U.S. and Russia is qualitatively worse than any post-Cold War period. The tension level is high, higher now than it was several months ago, in part because the Russians have gotten past the phase where they thought with President Donald Trump they would be able to move the relationship in a different direction, Graham explained. The White House joined France, Germany and the UK in a statement Thursday morning, squarely placing blame for the March 4 Salisbury attack on Putin's shoulders. This use of a military-grade nerve agent, of a type developed by Russia, constitutes the first offensive use of a nerve agent in Europe since the Second World War, the four governments said. It is an assault on the United Kingdom's sovereignty, and any such use by a state party is a clear violation of the Chemical Weapons Convention and a breach of international law. It threatens the security of us all. We call on Russia to address all questions related to the attack in Salisbury, they demanded. Russia should, in particular, provide full and complete disclosure of the Novichok program to the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, OPC. The FSB, the successor to Russia's infamous KGB, and the GRU, both top-tier intelligence agencies, are also targeted, meaning that the Treasury Department will forbid them from accessing assets in the U.S. or using America's banking system. It's unclear what assets Putin's spy agencies might have here. The FSB was sanctioned for using malicious tools to target journalists, the political opposition, U.S. government officials in cyber attacks. The GRU, officials said, was directly involved in interfering in the 2016 U.S. election through cyber-enabled activities, and the Internet Research Agency, an online troll factory controlled by a Russian oligarch, was sanctioned for interfering with the 2016 U.S. election by trying to manipulate Americans' opinions through fake ads and social media postings. 13 individuals tied to that organization were also targeted. They already face criminal indictments arising from Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation. The Treasury Department, which issued the sanctions, released a statement on nefarious attacks from Russia. The administration is confronting and countering malign Russian cyber activity, including their attempted interference in U.S. elections, destructive cyber attacks, and intrusions targeting critical infrastructure, said Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin. These targeted sanctions are a part of a broader effort to address the ongoing nefarious attacks emanating from Russia, he continued. Treasury intends to impose additional sanctions, informed by our intelligence community, to hold Russian government officials and oligarchs accountable for their destabilizing activities by severing their access to the U.S. financial system. During his brief Oval Office appearance statement, Trump also took a question about the border between Ireland and Northern Ireland. Well, that's an interesting border also. We have two interesting borders. One happens to be where you are, right? It's going to be interesting to see what happens, said Trump, without delving into details of the peace process. A joint U.S., UK, France, and Germany statement called the attack on the spy in Britain the first offensive use of a nerve agent in Europe since World War II. It used stronger language than that adopted by Trump, saying there was no plausible alternative explanation for how it happened, and an assault on UK sovereignty that threatens the security of us all.